Throughout the week I spent 20 hours by playing this game to see what is it about and to determine whether it is fun or not. I played through everything this closed beta had to offer, the story, the combat and the world. So let's first go over the core of this game and then we will delve deeper into details what is good and what is bad. Duet Abyss is developed by Hero Games, who also developed games like Wukong. And according to their page, they present this game as fantasy adventure RPG with high degree of freedom. This description feels accurate from my gameplay playthrough, although I would probably add to it action element as well. Combat feels smooth and very action-packed, even in instances where it is not necessary. In general, it almost feels like Warframe but anime. Cannot say how accurate my assumption is, as I spent only couple hours playing Warframe, but overall the combat surprised me how fun it was. Even farming feels like going through a journey. Depending on resource you are farming, you have different objective. Sometimes you gotta escort a car or defend objective or defend some position from endless waves of mobs. And finally we have a gacha game which improves upon this farming system. Instead of mindlessly killing 5 mobs in a domain, we can have more unique gameplay, although this of course takes more time to get the resources you want. But it's done in an innovative and interesting gameplay. After a time it might be dull and annoying, but I myself appreciate where companies try something new that isn't just copying Genshin model. And also to note, you have 240 energy from the get-go, with 1 energy per 6 minutes. In Duet Abyss, your team consists just of your main character you wanna play. You have items to summon other characters, but that's about it. All characters can have just 1 melee weapon and 1 range weapon. And to make this even better, no single character is tied to just one weapon type, or in this case 2. Instead, any character can use any weapon. The only limitation this has is that all characters have in their stat menu their preferred weapon with which they do more damage. But now that we are in the stat menu, let's check out their 2 new stats that I actually never seen anywhere in gacha space before: Berserker and Morale. Those stats increase the damage of your character based on your current HP. Berserker increases damage as your health goes lower, and Morale increases the damage as your health is higher. This is another example in which Hero Games are trying to innovate the idea and the space itself. In general gaming scene, this isn't something that unique, but just the idea behind putting something from different place can work well, and we will see how well it will work if newer gacha games will adapt to this system. Power system in Duet Abyss is called Demon Wedges. These, from my understanding, are pretty much mods from Warframe. They are minor stat increases or effects. You can put up to 8 of them on your weapon and character, 8 on each. Some characters have built-in weapon which allows just extra 4. As I can remember, 2 characters have those, and those are Berenica and Psyche. This, I would say, should be more consistent, and more characters should either have stats increased if they do not have the extra weapon. Otherwise, if that character does not have it, then too bad. It feels underwhelming and they might be just worse. Demon Wedges are also limited by the amount of tolerance your character or weapon have. I like this system because in gacha space it's complete new thing. Instead of regular farming of certain set to get bonuses with stats, now your hunt is a bit more specific to get even more wacky powers, which are also limited by that tolerance. It's not just, I gotta get my crit rate or crit damage. Now you can have something much more unique. I did not see too many different Demon Wedges because it wasn't something I wanted to check out in depth. And here we can see that once again, Duet Abyss innovates on daily farming and makes it more interesting and potentially even endgame. The question is it good enough? Will it hold its ground? Or will the system we all know still be dominant and Duet Abyss will be just a niche game for certain audience? Let me know what do you think in the comments down below. I feel like developers really step up with their characters. There are some characters in Duet Abyss that look similar to characters in other games, such as Marchi being basically Ember with shovel instead of a bow. But then there are some such as Psyche or Berenica, which have, I would say, very unique design. In general, I like design of characters in this game. They feel like something completely new, alongside more options to customize your looks and weapons with some accessories and different colors for weapons, which majorly can be obtained through just playing the game, finding them in the open world, or by doing some side quests. Let's now address the elephant in the room, the pull system by itself. I did not expect that we would find a game that has better pull system than WoW so quickly. It's even more free to play. I didn't know that some companies would even dare to introduce guaranteed limited character, and here we are. In Duet Abyss, the first copy of the character is guaranteed. The subsequent copies then face wrath of 50/50s. Weapon banner is also granted here. The only thing that I miss from WoW is separate standard character and weapon banner. It just boggled my mind when I saw it. It's truly amazing. Let's now jump into the story. It will be difficult to talk about specifics without spoilers, but in general the story was well done with great combination of impactful moments, combat, with which the game works quite well. It had its very cool moments, and I would say there isn't much downsides to the story, as it also tells the story in a very unique way. The story is told from two perspectives. You will play as both protagonists throughout the story. Both are separate characters with its own personalities, which is once again a change of pace from other games we know. I did not experience any bloat in the story, and it felt cool and good. I'm not sure if there was something negative about it. They introduced a new feature, which will give you certain points to certain stats while you are answering to dialogues. These points are later on used when you answer to some NPCs. These I encountered more in the world outside of the main story. Depending on your stats while answering, throw a dice, which will combine its number with it based on your current stat you have. And based on that, you either pass and you get some kind of conversation or not. This is such an amazing idea, but it falls flat so hard, because if you lose, then you have to do it again and again and again until you win. This could lead into interesting moments and what you learn about the characters in the world. Inclusion of D&D mechanic is difficult for Gacha game, as there are no ways to replay those moments, so I'm not sure if I am actually a fan of this or not. But so far it feels underwhelming. Now let's talk about the worst parts I feel like needs some changes and improvements. These parts also feel unfinished and maybe a little bit rushed, and maybe we just didn't see the latest progress, but so far it is the weakest part of the game. First we have their new roguelike mode, which is called Maze of Missteps. This mode works very similarly to Simulated Universe, but has almost no variation. It is just one or two zones that are just repeating itself with static 20 or so creatures to kill over and over again. Scaling also feels off, but that's across the higher difficult things in here in general. Even bosses feel quite overtuned when you challenge them even during story or outside. As a level 40, I struggle to just kill the level 30 boss, but they are cool nonetheless. But hey, it's a closed beta, so obviously there will be some kind of issues. So I can say so far it is acceptable, but if this will be the case after release, then that would be a serious issue. Although we still don't have any current release date, so I would assume they have plenty of time to finish this and to put it to a proper good state. Next on our list is exploration. I'm guessing that we have not seen every single subzone in this closed beta, but what we saw was very bland and uninteresting. Nothing really stand out. An open world for that reason feels really bad. Characters do not have option to swim and can glide only for a limited amount of time while they are reloading in the air or shooting in the air. But that's it. It feels like it's unfinished, but it lacks some kind of puzzles or challenges. There are some chests, mobs, and some ores, and that's basically it. There is no oculi, no, as I said, puzzles or challenges. It is a shame, as it does not have anything that you need, like in other parts of the game. I also did not found a way to get the daily currency, which may be something they add later on, or they did not just put it into this closed beta. The game of course has more things to talk about. It has its own place to test damage or survivability, some kind of training grounds. They tied challenges to waypoints, some kind of puzzles, and so on. But I think in general, what I mentioned is sufficient. The core of the game is really good. The story, combat, and customizations of the characters are great things, might be great inspirations for other gachas in the future. So far, it does not have proper endgame. Exploration needs some kind of rework, and combat inside Maze of Missteps needs a huge rework. So I didn't want to be too harsh on everything. I tried to have positive outlook onto the game to present it in a way that makes more people engaged and interested in it, and maybe it might be another game alongside Ananta, Azure Premiere that you might look forward to, considering that the games from whoever's I played I'm thinking of dropping because they are going in a route I do not appreciate. And I believe that hero games might and probably will, maybe I'm just naive, work on the negatives as I'm speaking about it and as you are probably watching this video. So what do you think about this game? Did that spark your interest or not really? Let me know in the comments down below. And that would be it from me today. So, if you want to see more videos like this, let me know by subscribing to this channel. And I'll see you in the next one.